What's up, Zach?
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
Good?
Yeah, doing good. I can only see like half your face.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah.
it's working good now.
Yeah, yeah. So we were gonna talk about Ryzen before, but it's been a while since it happened.
Yeah.
What kind of like what were your takeaways from it, the show?
Oh, that was a great show. It could showcase some good Japanese talent. Some some show I like. This is the fighter I like. Dominator. He's very good, but it was not his night. He got knocked out by Asakura,
Hmm.
and yeah, it was
I think your stuff froze for a second.
not like he's always be, but still a great show.
What'd you think of Manel Cape's fight in UFC?
He was not his night, but still he has all the skill to come back. So it's up to him after how he adjusts from the loss.
Yeah, I mean, I thought maybe he was kind of fighting like it was a 10-minute round, in the
Yeah,
first.
because the third round, on the two rounds he lost them. He lost the first and the second, but on the third round he tried to come back and score some points, but unfortunately the judge didn't see it that way.
Yeah, I thought he didn't really put the pressure on early.
Yes.
Yeah, so what have you been up to out there? Like, you were training for a fight, right?
Yeah, I trained and I trained also my friend who's fighting one on the 22nd. So if you guys have the app or Amemba, it's on in Japan. It's on Amemba TV. So
Hmm.
we've been training up for that, making the camp for this fight on the 22nd. He fights a guy from Tribe MMA, Chonan School, which is the Neo Blood Pancrase champion. So they both fight in the one. It's like a small one show for the upcoming fighters. They launch a series of that now. It's called Road to One, and it's the fourth show now. It's going pretty good.
Is that one in Thailand?
No, in Thailand it's called the Super Series,
Yeah.
run by Rich Franklin. But now in Japan is completely different. It's kind of Shuto and One FC together putting a show like fighter from Shuto and fighter from One fights in that kind of small show.
It's going to be in Japan?
Yeah, it's on Japan.
Wow.
It's free on YouTube and on the app, on the One FC app.
Yeah, what do you think? You're going to corner him?
Yeah, maybe we didn't decide who is on the corner yet, but I work with him on the ground for this fight, ground techniques, drills, sparring, everything that is the ground part of the fight.
Now, you have more of a kickboxing background, yeah?
Yeah, more like jiu-jitsu and boxing.
Because I know like a lot of good kickboxers come from France and stuff.
Yeah, lot of like France is basically the Savate country,
Hmm.
so all the French kickboxing stuff. And we have Holland, which is very near. So every time we go, we want to prepare for striking. We go to Holland because in France, MMA was like until last year not allowed. So all the fights we can make is stand up fight, either boxing or kickboxing. So we have to go to Holland and train. So that's why I think French people are mostly kickboxers.
Hmm. What do you think of like all the calf kicks and stuff we're seeing in the UFC? And
Yes. In Japan now, the interest grew up very big for the calf kicks. I think it's become like before. If I think in Japan we saw that long time ago with Kwok when he fought Yoshida and he stopped him with those kicks. I think yeah, now people see more that the low kicks, calf kicks can finish fights, so they are more focused on that right now. I think
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. I mean, it seems like a kind of like a new thing in the UFC, but it's been around for a long time.
yes, it's just like people start to using it more, and I think the master in that is Douglas Lima in Bellator.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my
yeah, yeah, for
goodness,
sure.
this guy can kick. He's strong.
Yeah,
He's
he's always been doing it.
yes, like
But I think like I wonder like the guys like Lima, maybe even guys in Thailand, they're more conditioned to take that kick.
yes, they know how to block it. Like there's one fighter in Glory. I can't remember his name, but the video has been up on YouTube. You see him blocking the calf kicks, and he blocked the calf kick so much that the guys who were kicking with those kicks was stopped. He broke his ankle by kicking, kicking, and kicking. The guy kept blocking and blocking, and they stopped the fight because the kicking guy was kicking too much and broke his ankle. That's crazy.
Yeah, but I also think like maybe like the Thais are used to kicking a lot, their legs are more conditioned to take that kick
Yes, I think that too.
if they don't block it, you know. Because
Yes.
McGregor didn't seem to be able to take the kick very effectively.
Yes, you see, he's lost his how can I say his core on the his balance. So Dustin keep aiming at the kicks again, and that was done. He couldn't recover from that even after the fight. That's crazy.
Yeah. So if anybody has any questions they want to ask Zach, you know, Zach's in Tokyo and he does a lot of does all his training there and stuff. So if any of you guys have any questions you want to ask him, maybe tell people what your gym name is again.
So I train in Hearts MMA. Mostly I
And
train there,
who
like
are some of the
Hearts.
notable fighters?
Yeah, we have like mostly Japanese fighter there. We have Kimihiro Eto. We have Kenta Takizawa, which is the Pancrase 61 kilo champ. We have sometime we have the Asakura brother came to train too. We have Wakui, Shinjo Wakui, which is ranked number one in Muay Thai in Japan, Japanese Muay Thai. Like the show Knockout, you know, have you heard about that show? We have mostly fighters from who fights in one, upcoming fighters in one FC.
Yeah, I'm still kind of really interested in one as far as like they're bringing a lot more like Thai fighters and
Yeah,
you know
like
great
says
kickboxers.
also you say it's a gym. There's a lot of gyms open lately run by Thais. Like Thais now, Thai gyms they come from Thailand. You know, with when they win fights in Japan, they have enough cash to open gyms, so they open gyms here, stay here, make the camp in Japan, train, all that stuff.
Yeah, I think it's still kind of an untapped resource for, you
Yes,
know, in the UFC, especially. I think it still has a lot of growth to be done there.
yes, because there've been shows in Thailand in MMA called Dare. If you have heard about it, it's called Dare MMA. It start like maybe 4 or 5 years ago, but it's pro. It's crazy because it's pro event with amateur rules. So you fight without headgear and stuff, but still you fight like amateur rules, like Japanese amateur rules. You cannot punch the head, only the body when you're in the ground. When the two fighters are in the ground, there's no strike. It's grappling only. But if I'm standing up and you're on the ground, I can punch your body.
Yeah, they have a lot of strange stuff going on in all those different shows.
Yes.
Do do you think like Tension might ever like not fight in Ryzen, you know, maybe
Those
go to one or
there have been a conference of Rising last 2 days ago. They made a conference and they say that there's a high possibility that Takeru and Tenshin is going to fight by end of the year, but it depends on how the situation is going to be and if the fans want to see the fights. So right now, to make fights in Japan is quite difficult because the arenas need to be rent. You know, they have to rent the space to make the fight. But the problem is, even with the situation right now, the price of the to rent the arena are still the same. So, and they can use only one third of the capacity of the arena. So if they want to rent the arena, ticket prices has to go up. So they have to find a way to get pay-per-view station to sell the fight. Without that, it's very difficult to rent like a big arena to use just one third and take a big risk on ticket sales. So lately, promoter, I think they kind of, you know, don't take many chances on that. They maximize the the potential sales, and if the sales look good, then I think yes, they're gonna rent a big arena. But for now, they have to work on that, I think.
What are you hearing in Japan? I mean, I know what we hear in the US, but what are you hearing in Japan as far as the COVID and stuff? Do you think they're gonna relax their rules there or what?
For now, so we have the state of emergency until end of March. After that, I'm not sure. Like lately, Japanese, you know, there's a lot of groups that doing how do you say protest. They're doing protest about the Olympic Games. Like they don't really want Olympic Games to happen during the pandemic, but Japanese government are saying that it will. So a lot of stuff going on. So it's like kind of somebody say yes and somebody says no. So no, nothing is for sure right now.
So even when it comes to the fights, the fighters have no idea what's going on.
So right now, yeah, it's like kind of if you get the fight, it's great. So fights is still going on, but it's more like the unknown is more like are they going to face foreigner or not? That's the big unknown right now. But as for them to fight, no, the fights are still going on. But the competition is the problem. Are they going to face foreign fighter or keep fighting Japanese people for a while? That's the big unknown right now.
What are the fighters saying about it? Do they want to keep competing against other Japanese opponents or?
Like for them, it really depend on the fighter. But the one I talk to is like if the fights they keep fighting each other and the fights does good, sells good, and people talk about it, then they're satisfied about it. But there's another group of fighters that want, you know, face tougher competition and get a belt or end up in the UFC. So it's really depend on the fighter, I think. But the one I talk to is saying if the fight sells good and they've been talked to, you know, making papers and stuff, then they're satisfied with it.
I don't know. What do you think's going to happen? I mean, in your opinion, it just doesn't seem like, I don't
Like,
know. I watched the last Ryzen show and it seems like people are excited about it, but it's not gaining the momentum that it had before still.
like, yeah, because how to say, yes, they sold only, you know, 10,000 tickets because that's the max capacity,
Right.
they were being able to. So maybe, you know, in the foreign country, we use like they have 40 or 50,000 people, the big fights and stuff. And also, top fighters before that show, top fighters already fought. So it was difficult to make them fight again in the show. But that show also had great fighters. But, you know, they couldn't bring only top fighters like they used to because they fought already.
Yeah, and I think part of it is like, I feel like one has more competition for attention than Ryzen can give him. You know,
Uh,
they had the fight with Takeru, but
yeah, at his weight,
one has many good,
yes.
you know, Muay Thai fighters, kickboxers.
Yeah, at his weight, it's kind of tough. I think he fits
Hmm.
in MMA. In
Yeah.
kickboxing, yeah, you have everything he needs in Japan. But as for MMA, no, I think he's above. He's above. You know, he doesn't have much competition, but he still can make good fights.
Who are some of the guys you could see him fighting?
It depends if he goes up at 60, 61. I would like to see him face Kenta Takizawa from Pancrase. I think it's going to be a good fight if he fights him. Of course, Tenshin on the paper is way up him, but on the sales wise, it can be sales good because they have both a fan base in Japan. Of course, Tenshin has more, but you know, Pancrase is still a good promotion and he's the champ, so it can make a good sales, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of watching from the outside. Same with Horiguchi, he's doing
Yeah.
so well, but it's limited, because of the COVID, but
Yes.
also because of what Rising can give him as far as opponents.
Yes. Like he avenged his loss with Asakura, but what's next? What can they give him? Because
Right.
now, you know, Rising and Bellator they kind of connected. You know, they have a strong partnership, so they can't give him the champ. They call it, they want to do a champ fight by end of the year. But as for Japanese fighters to fight against Horiguchi, no, I think he's above and everybody else. You know, he fought Mighty Mouse in the UFC. He faced off a competition. So also, yeah, and the COVID doesn't make things any better.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering. I thought maybe you would have heard maybe in Japan when they're thinking you might have some like inside track on when you think this stuff's going to be over. You know?
Yeah, like lately, it's just announced that they received the vaccine, but
Yeah, in
they
the U.S. Yeah.
yeah also we have in Japan, but I don't know what they want to do from that. Like the and also the people cases going up and down. So like in Tokyo, we have like 412 cases yesterday. So and the week before that we were at 1,300. So it's always up and down, up and down. So it's quite difficult.
Hmm. And most people there are wearing masks and stuff. Yeah, but
Yeah, yeah,
they're still packed in the trains and things, right?
yes, and some people doesn't want to wear a mask too. But
Mhm.
when you don't wear, you know, you can't go to shops. You can't shop. You can't take the train. So you limited when you're not wearing one. So if you're not wearing one, you it's basically like you're near your house or something like that.
So they don't let you go anywhere.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, it is kind of frustrating because you can't really. I mean, the UFC's having shows, and now one's having some shows, but
Yes.
in Japan they can't.
Like because you know, one they have their own arena in Singapore. The UFC they have the UFC Apex, but in Japan they don't have installation like that.
Okay.
Like says the Asakura gym, which is huge. They have the real UFC cage in the gym. It's a big gym. So if they have to make fights like the Apex or the one in Singapore, they they may have to reach Asakura and do fights there.
Hmm.
That's
How was he able to
yes.
get such a big space?
They buy the building, so it was an old building, and they just bought it. They bought the building, and they make a, you know, with sponsor and stuff. The gym actually right now is the biggest you can find in Japan. That's the top. The if you're looking for top notch equipment, top notch place to train, yeah, that's the place to go.
Yeah, I remember Rodeo Style. They did that too. They bought the whole building.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Now, yes, they merged like with Grand Slam, and yes, it's still pretty big, but Asakura gym is huge. It's pretty huge. It's called Triforce Jiu-Jitsu. It's huge. It's pretty big. But
That's interesting because, you know, like I remember when I was there, I don't think anybody had a big gym really.
yes,
There
like
really weren't any.
the gym I train to is split into two gyms. So we have like a gym like mainly, for pro fighters. So we have actually my gym is kind of, we have pro trainings on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So those days is the day where we welcome people from other gym to train with us. So it's like a melting pot of pro fighters. So that gym is really for the pros. And then we have the second gym in Komazawa is more like for fitness and beginners, amateurs, fighters, stuff like that. So that's kind of make bigger space for pros because pros mostly use the gym, and amateurs and fitness people go to the other one.
So when are you going to have your next fight in Deep?
I think in June. In June, there's an event in June, so I want to be in that one.
And do you know who you might fight or no?
I had some offers about fighters, so I have four that I have to choose for, and I will see with my coach what he's thinking about.
So what do you think of some of the UFC events you saw recently?
Yeah, I like the that guy Volkov and Overeem. That was crazy because he's Overeem is like a very very precise striker, and Volcom,
Didn't look like it though, yeah.
yes, and Volcom make him look like it. Volkov was the precise fighter, so that was crazy, and the way he finished the fight, crazy. So I think, and Frankie Edgar, oh my gosh, you saw that?
Yeah, yeah.
He's like same as Ben Askren when he fought
Yeah.
Masvidal.
Similar, yeah.
Similar, but yeah, that's a shame because I wanted to see Frank Edgar at 135 how he will do, but now what Dana is going to do after that.
I was
That's the big
surprised at
issue.
how Overeem looked. You know,
Yes,
he looked like I don't know, like he wasn't precise at all, like you were saying.
yeah,
You know,
maybe
like
because he was throwing punches powerful, but they were slow for Volkov. Volkov was all the way inside the over him guard. So I think that's play a lot. Maybe over him train in the ways that Volkov could how to say beat. What happened in camp? Only him and his camp know. But after it depends on over him if he will continue and how he will adjust from that. But I think he still have it. It's not because he lost that fight that he should retire.
yeah.
It's I think he still have it. So because media and stuff saying, "Oh, he's 43, he should stop," and all stuff, yada yada. But I think no, he still have it.
Yeah, I mean Volkov, he was a champion in Bellator a long time ago.
Yes,
And I think he's he's had some good fights in the UFC. He's also lost some.
yes,
But I think he has potential to, get better.
yeah.
And his size is so,
And
you
no,
know,
he's not in his prime yet.
yeah, I think so too.
He's not. So he still have a long to go. Maybe next is title shot.
Yeah, if he could win one or two more fights, right? He probably
Yes,
could. But he did lose to Blades and
yes.
he lost to the other guy. What was his name?
Yeah.
Derek Lewis.
Yes.
But he was winning that fight, I mean, all the way till the last few seconds.
Yes. And next is tomorrow. I think. Yeah, tomorrow is Usman and
Yeah.
Burns.
Yeah, that's an interesting fight too.
Yeah,
You
because they
know?
know each other. They train at Sanford MMA.
Right.
So like for this fight, they separate gym. So Burns go to another gym, but yeah, they know each other from the beginning. And Burns was in Usman camp for all his previous fights. So how this one is going to play out is crazy. That's interesting.
Yeah, I, I don't know. It's hard to pick against Usman. He always seems to find a way to win.
Yes, I'm with Usman on this fight.
Hmm.
Ah, yeah,
Yeah, you trained at American Top Team a little, yeah?
yes, yes,
So maybe you know some things about this fight too.
yeah. So I I think, yeah, like for this particular fight, I don't know much, but all I know is that they separate the fighter because they train in the same gym. So they separate, like Usman stays at Sanford MMA, and Burns go to another gym. But how it's going to play out after that fight, that's something I want to know. Are they coming back to the same gym together? Burns is going to stay in the other gym. How it's going to be, that's something interesting to know, I think.
Yeah, I mean, American Top Team has so many. They've had to do that before with like Colby Covington and
Yes, and Woodley.
right.
Yes. So
So
it's
it's an
crazy.
interesting point you bring up. How did they come back to the gym after that?
Yes. Like now, Woodley has his own. He has his own American top team. So
Hmm.
he has his own American top team, and now he train at Rufus gym.
Yeah.
So how is his next fight's gonna be? I have no idea.
I
But
think Usman would probably win the fight, but Burns
yeah,
has a lot of finishing
yeah,
weapons, you know.
yes, and he has
So
strong ground. So
and stand up too. You know, I think he
yeah,
has more ways to finish,
yes,
but Usman has that,
yeah,
like ways to make the fight difficult, physically difficult.
yes. Same like he did with Colby.
Right.
That fight was he finished the fight, and Colby was gassing out in the last
Yeah.
round. That's how it played out. But
Maybe take down and get on top, get up, take down.
like I think for this fight, you need to box. You need to box, sprawl and ball. Box it, make some damage. When the burn is damaged, take him down, control him in the ground, get up, box him again, take him down again. I think that's the game plan he should be doing.
Yeah, and jam him against the fence. He likes to get against the fence too. So
Yes, I think
yeah, it's hard to pick against
it's tough because
yeah.
both are good. But the next card also is crazy. You know, three title fights.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, they've been doing some good
insane. Three
shows.
titles.
And that's kind of why it's like frustrating to watch,
Yeah,
Ryzen not be able to, you know, do more stuff.
yeah. Because they made a conference, Rising made a conference last 2 days ago. They were talking about that. Like they've been basically asking fans what they want to see. As they want to see some countdowns, as they want to see more the fighters live.
Hmm.
What content they can make to have some views. To have some something to show to the fans. Because they make doing a show. We had a show at the Tokyo Dome on March 21st, but that on March 14th, but that show has been cancelled because of lack of the cards they could bring. Like they couldn't make an event at the Tokyo Dome with having real purpose of making it at the Tokyo Dome.
Yeah, they couldn't get enough kind of competitors that they wanted, high profile fights.
Yeah, I think because if you rent the Tokyo Dome, they didn't make a fight in Tokyo Dome since 2003. So I think to make a fight at Tokyo Dome, you need like a high profile fight, like Takeru and Tenshin fighting each other. That's something that will make sales tickets. But with the cards they announced yesterday, no, I don't think so. So what they did is they canceled the card on March 14 and move to a smaller arena in Nagoya and make the fights there. But if they put the fight the fight cards they were putting tomorrow. They announced yesterday in Tokyo Dome. No, because it was not. It was a good fight card, but not a good fight card for the Tokyo Dome.
Yeah, I think if they could get like more Bellator crossover, and just kind of do it that way. But I
Yes,
don't know if Bellator would consistently do it.
like yeah, that's because Bellator wants to do the champion against Horiguchi. So from there,
Archuleta.
yes, that's the fight they want to make at end of the year in the Tokyo Dome, and Tenshin Takeo also in the Tokyo Dome. But they said is that to make those fights, they need the situation to have a more, they can, how do you say in English, plan the situation. Like they want to have the insurance that they can make the event without, canceling the last minute. So
Yeah.
now they said after the fights that going to be on March 21st, they're going to take some time off and think about what they're going to do. Like if foreigners, they don't know if foreigners are allowed to come after the state of emergency. When foreigners can come, are they going to keep Japan against Japanese competition? That's the big issue for them right now here.
Maybe they could get Japanese pro wrestlers like Pride did.
Yeah, like at the Rising last show, they put Shibata is a YouTube guy here against Hiroya, K1 big star. He lost. He lost that fight. You saw that?
No, I didn't
That's
watch that.
crazy because he fights. So at first it was declared a draw, but then two fights after, they make a special announcement and say, yes, we the referee didn't see it, but Hiroya tapped. So he tapped in armbar, and then they said, okay, Shibata won the fight. But at first they say it's a draw, but they had to replay the fight to say that Hiroya tapped.
So Shibata's a wrestling guy, pro wrestling guy.
Yeah, he's a pro wrestling guy. Like he fought in deep before, like real fights in deep, but he has his own character. Like he wear pro wrestling stuff and fight in the cage. Like he can fight, but I think he's more like a pro wrestler. He's more on the pro wrestler style. Make people laugh and make some entertainment than really fighting. Like if you take a fighter from Bellator or the UFC.
Yeah, I think Ensign's guy Sidario could be.
Yeah, it can be a good opponent for him.
He has the background from sumo and.
Yes, because lately, in Japan, they all in that kind of stuff. SNS stuff, YouTube, Instagram, followers and stuff. So they have very interest on that. So like fighters like Logan Paul and stuff. They they have their interest on that because people in Japan we say kiyomi, which means interest. So interest or curiosity. So they will more look the fight like, oh, this guy is from YouTube. Let's see if he can fight or not. That more than, oh yeah, he's strong and stuff like that. I don't know how to really put it, but yeah, they will Japanese lately will more watch because of curiosity, more than because they know.
Yeah, I think if they could do that, because that's kind of what Pride did. They tapped into the curiosity, of fans, and they even went more and more as it got bigger. They did that more and more,
Yes, like now they have the show also, Floyd's show, Mega. Have you heard about it? So it's canceled.
Yeah, he's going to do another one, right?
Yes, the show is canceled. It was supposed to be today, but it's canceled. So they moved like on the June. They plan for June or July. and that's where they're gonna make Logan Paul and Floyd, because I think honestly that's the only place they can sell the fight, because you guys in the US have no interest in that fight. It's more like a MTV things, right?
Yeah.
MTV celebrity show. But in Japan, it's more like, oh, I don't know who that Logan Paul is. Oh, okay, let's check out. More like that. But in the US, they're gonna be, nah, that's like a WWE thing.
But who would promote the show? I mean, Floyd can't do
Like,
the show in Japan. Who would help him do it?
oh, I think it's the Rising Team.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Sakakibara.
yeah, I
Hmm.
think so. But
That's interesting.
that's interesting because every Japanese who is gonna fight, like pro fighters is, I didn't receive any offer. I don't know what's going on. Am I
Hmm.
fighting in that show? Uh, like, who is gonna fight? Are you fighting? They even ask me, "Did you get offer from Mega?" I say, "No." And no, nobody gets from in my gym and also other gym. I don't know any fighter who got an offer from Mega.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't. I don't know. He could, he maybe could bring some of his boxing guys.
I think so. I think that's what he's planning to do: bring his own guys and gives them a platform. I think that's what's going to happen, because we don't know. As for now, is it a boxing show? Is it a MMA show? Is it a everything show? Nobody has no idea.
Right. Yeah, I mean, he has a lot of good boxers he could bring, but I don't know what he'd do with them or if they'd want to do
Yes,
it.
because also they have to pay those fighters. It's not like Japan can pay as much as the WBC or the Nevada
Right.
Commission. So I think that will plays out too.
Yeah, I saw it like Gervonta Davis saying he wanted to do it, you
Yes,
know. So
like
that would have been interesting to have him fight somebody on there.
yes, I think
Because he's a big, up and coming star here in the US.
yes, I think he's going to be the next Floyd. If he keeps
Yeah.
that way, he has everything to be. And now in Japan, like stars, in the US, it's kind of different, because in the US you're a star when you're winning fights. Like, pack up the win, you're undefeated, you fight more and more strong competition. But in Japan, it's more like they like the character. Like, even if you lose and you have a good character, people will still come to see you fight. But in Japan, in the US, like, for example, if we take the UFC, if you lose a couple of fights, then you cut. But in Japan, we see fighters, they have like no win and six fights sometime, and they still people want to see them because they like the character, what they bring, the entertainment, good fights. Even if you make a good fight and you lose at the end, Japanese are going to say, "Oh, you both fight good." But in the US, if the guy lose, they're going to say the loser is just going to be a loser. Like, okay, he lost. We focus on the winner, and that's it.
What do you think about like Miyu, did got beat again, you know?
Uh, but from on the paper, of course, that was a predictable result,
Yeah.
because Amasaki is been training more.
Yeah.
She has more experience in MMA, but Miyu is also a very good wrestler. But switching to wrestling to MMA is difficult. So I think that's played out. The experience Hamasaki had in MMA over Miyu. I think that's what's played out.
And you think they set up that fight to help Hamasaki? Like,
And no, I think because Miyu, sells. People want to see her. So, and with the times they have now, they also need to make some view and some highlights. So I think that was on the sales wise, that was a good fight. But Hamasaki, of course, has more experience in MMA, so I think the result was predictable. But Miyu also had her chance to win the fight.
And what about her son Urson? What are they? Do you know what
I
they're doing with him?
I don't know. Lately, I don't know what's it gonna do with Elson, but maybe I'll give him another fight because lately foreigners can't come in Japan, so why not?
Yeah, yeah. I know they have big expectations for him, and then kind of it didn't
Yes,
go as what they were planning, maybe. But maybe they threw him in too early. It's hard to know.
like he fought Manel. I think he fought Manel too early. Like be with top guys like that too early. But also Manel was an upcoming fighter in that fight.
But he also fought like Tokoro.
Yes,
He fought some guys that were pretty experienced.
yes.
Yeah.
So that's played out, I think.
Yeah, because I think Kid was ready right away to fight almost anybody.
Yes.
But he's unique, and I think they put the same expectation on Urson, and
Yeah, because that's
it's not the same.
the problem nowadays. Like if you train with that fighter, then people is gonna think you have the same level as the fighter you train. So that's how expectations are made, and then lead to that kind of result. So they don't like let the fighter develop. So like for example, if I train with King Mo, people is gonna think, oh, he trained with King Mo, so he must have a level close or same as King Mo. So I think that's why
Yeah.
expectation are like that, and sometimes it can play against the fighter because he doesn't let the fighter develop himself.
Mm. Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean,
But it's tough, yeah.
because I know like the trainer wants to give them fights,
But I
instead of
think
maybe waiting.
yes, but it's very important also because at the end of the day you're gonna face a tough fighter. So if they keep giving you, fighters above your level, you're gonna get used to that. So you're gonna feel too comfortable in your training, and you're gonna feel, oh yeah, but I can do that, I can do that, and then at the end of the day, when you meet somebody that can do it better than you, then you're in trouble.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good things to do stuff, like not a much higher competition, higher levels than you, but a little bit higher than your level, so you can, being challenged and showcase your skill. And even if you lose, then you showcase your skill against a stronger opponent, and you made a good fight. But if you win too easily, then people are going to be, oh, but he's facing love fighters lower than his level and stuff like that. So after is how promoter and trainer see the things. It's two different approach.
Because I think Ensign, he's doing it right with Sidario. He's giving him fights,
Yes,
winnable fights, you
yes,
know?
yes,
And then when he feels like he's ready to fight a really good guy, then he will, you know?
yes, yes. Like, but Minowa, when he fought Minowa was supposed to be the winner.
Yeah.
So people were seeing Minowa as the winner, but uh, his corner throw Minowa's corner throw the tower. So everything can happen.
Yeah, I mean, he's much bigger than Manoa, so
Yes,
I don't know why people thought he was going to win the fight.
yes. Like
Yeah.
because in Japan they call him the Giant Slayer.
Yeah.
So like same as Sakuraba with the Gracie.
But that was many years ago.
Yeah, yes. Now the game changed way too much.
Yeah, yeah.
The game changed too much,
Yeah, that
and
was 15 years ago, 20
yeah,
years ago.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's way in the beginning of the history of Japanese MMA. So
Right.
now, and we have more and more Japanese fighters that train in the US. And I think Japanese fighters that trained in the US are more successful than fighters trained in Japan. They have a different level because the game is evolved. You know, they have like for example, if you compare Horiguchi and Tenchin, you see that Horiguchi has uh, his own ways of training. He can train Japanese way, but also the American way. He has the wrestling, the conditioning, he has the stamina and all stuff like that. Japan is more like about the technique, keep drilling and drilling, but on the physical and how can I say physical and the fighting smart. You know, America has the lead.
Yeah, I mean, I think back when you and I were, exposed to Pride, back then, I think,
Mm,
especially in the early years with Shuto, and the the Japanese fighters were ahead on technique.
yes.
They were pretty far ahead. They were more
Mm,
well-rounded fighters too
yes.
than the American fighters, than most of the fighters in general. And I
Yeah.
think that carried them for several years.
Yes.
But
Be-
it's hard to carry them now with that.
no, because yeah, we've been talking about this in training because we have Sato 10. You know, he fight in the UFC.
Mhm.
Actually, that's crazy. He's the only Japanese fighter in the UFC now.
Yeah, yeah.
That's crazy.
Mhm.
As a guy, and Mizuki is the only Japanese female in the UFC. But you know, they bought a lot of Japanese fighter in the UFC. They bought Ishihara Teruto. They bought Takeshi Sato. They brought a lot of Japanese fighters. They even made a show, you know, like Japanese Ultimate Fighter.
Mhm.
And as we saw, only Horiguchi and Ten has been successful in the US.
Mhm.
So I think that's played out because Ten and Horiguchi could how do you say in English, adapt to the American way, but Japanese way. Also, Japanese fighters stayed Japanese way, and I think that's played a lot.
Mhm. Yeah, I've always wondered if they could make a resurgence, but
Yeah,
it's hard to know. I mean,
yeah,
Horiguchi's doing it a little bit, even though he trains in the U.S. too. But
yeah. Yes, because now we have when Ten came to visit because now he stays in Sanford MMA with Chandler. So he came to the gym and he explained, okay, in the US we train like this. Japanese do that way. No, you guys should make that way. I think that way is better. This thing has to be corrected and stuff like that. Because in Japan, you spar 3 times a week. They make sparring, but in the US, you spar only 1 time a week. Hard sparring, but it's only 1 times a week. But when you fight when you in Japan, you spar 3 times a week, and we do like okay, 20 minutes technique, 30 minutes technique, 30 minutes warm up, and 1 hour sparring. But in the US, they do like, or France, we do like 1 hour technique, 30 minutes warm up, and 30 minutes only sparring. So Japan focus more on sparring than working the technique on the today's game.
yeah. But at your gym, I mean, are they changing what they're doing, kind of?
Yeah, yeah, we change. Also because of COVID, we changed the way we train, the time we train, but also we change based on that, based on what Sato and the guys at Sanford MMA, American Top Team, how they train. So we focus our training on techniques more than on sparring. Before we were solely focused on sparring. You come, you do your two techniques, and then you go to spar. But now it's more like we take more time on the technique, but also we follow the technique through like okay, this month is got this thema is going to be for this month. So we follow, for example, lately we focus on the back, back escape, how you can take the rear mounted shock, stuff like that. So we focus on that. Before we were like, okay, this week we focus on the stand up. The week after we focus on the ground, and then the week after we go back to stand up. It's kind of we don't follow a theme. We always changing.
Yeah, it's interesting. So let's talk about like what are some other things maybe I haven't covered that I should talk about maybe that I haven't thought of
Let's see. Like
from your experience.
yeah, like lately, same thing. From I have people hit me up on Insta asking me about how is the training and to fight in Japan. So if I detail, it's like in the US, you have your manager and the manager does things for you. But in Japan, it's not working that way. It's like you're the fighter, there's promoter, they talk to you and your trainer. Your trainer is your manager. There's no like, okay, this guy is gonna make the phone call for you. No, it's your coach is gonna call the promoter. But there's some manager because they're here for a long time. They're here from the Pride days. So those guys are really respected, and promoters still call them and do business with them. But for example, if me, I take the plane ticket with my manager, we come to Japan, and we say, hey, I want to fight. So the promoter is gonna say, what the hell, like you don't train here, you don't know about here. They're gonna take you only if you have an impressive work record, like you 7-3, 8-4, stuff like that. But if you come and start and you want to start to fight in Japan, uh, I suggest you just come and be in the gym, in Japanese gym, and your trainer is going to do the things for you. That's the best way to do things. If you want to respect Japanese codes, that's what you have to do.
Yeah, so are they still guys like Kawasaki? I mean, I don't see
Yeah,
him really doing stuff still, but is he
uh,
still doing?
yeah. Kawasaki is still around. I didn't have news from him lately, but yeah, we have Fumi. Fumi also he does a lot of stuff, with Rising, Shuto, and Pancrase. Kawasaki also he bring fighters to Pancrase, but lately, yeah, I didn't see him much, but he's still around.
So they still have those guys that are
Yeah,
occasionally
yeah.
doing that.
They kind of the godfathers of management in Japan. I don't see them move anywhere anytime soon.
So are the Ryzen, are they still doing it that way where you have to deal with, a manager in Japan to get a fight in Ryzen?
It's different. I think for Rising, they most like they come to you. You don't come to them. I think that's the difference, because a lot of people ask me how can I fight in Rising, and I think Rising is the guys they come to you. It's like you don't go to them; they come to you if they have a big network. So if they want to find a fighter that they have interest in, they're gonna contact him no matter what. So I think yeah. But for other promotion like Deep, Pancrase, Shuto, yeah, if you train in a Japanese gym with a Japanese trainer and you come regularly, then yeah, you have the chance to go from that show, and then Rising can pick you up from those shows like Shuto, Deep, Pancrase. They can take you from that show to their show. But straight to Rising, you have to be, in your country, like you be have a belt or have a lot of fights, stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of like that before, but even in
Yeah,
Pride, guys had to deal with Kawasaki or,
yeah, yeah,
you
yes,
know.
yes, yes, yes. Like yeah, it's a still manager in the Rising. They have managers, like Fumi, Kawasaki. They're still in the Rising business, but more like the fighters they put in. They are top fighters in Japan. They don't bring new guys
Mhm.
in the rising. They bring a lot of top fighters level, like top fighters from knockout, deep, uh, pancrase, shuto. Those top fighters.
Do you think there's more guys coming out of Japan than before,
You
or
mean
is it
in
kind of
more new fighters, new generation?
yeah that you think have quality or
Yeah. I still believe there is quality in the Japanese MMA. Now they are more focused, on the foreign way. So that's why produce a lot of quality right now. Like I think they are most successful, of course, in one in deep and Shuto. I think Japanese from those promotion are the most successful.
yeah. Mark, you want to ask Zach a question? He's in Tokyo. Mark goes to Japan quite a bit from time to time, at least. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting the stuff that you mentioned about how they're doing things more the foreign way. But it's just I think part of it is because of the COVID, but also we can't Rising can't, like you're saying, gain the momentum that they need yet to
Yes,
really maybe produce some new guys.
like there's some guys that emerge from the rising streets. They have some fighters that fight in rising, and they emerge from the rising show. Uh, like for example, they go in deep, and then when they go to rising from deep, that's where they're getting up. They they have the momentum because of the rising exposure. So it's make a stars from both deep and rising because rising doesn't have is not how to say like the UFC. It's a platform. It's a platform from fighters from different promotion to fight. So they don't make you if you fight, for example, you're coming from deep, they're not going to tell you, okay, you don't fight for deep anymore. They're gonna let you fight from the promotion you're coming from. But if, for example, me, I'm deep and I want to fight in Shuto or Pancrase, I can't. I'm exclusive to deep. But with Rising, that's not the case. So that's why I think it's because you have the Rising and you have the deep, so you kind of, two different places.
Yeah, that's something they're doing very differently from Pride.
Yes,
Even though it's the same guys, they're kind of saying, you can
yes,
come here and fight, but, still represent whatever organization,
yes,
you know. So it is kind of, like you're saying, more a platform rather than an exclusive
yes. They have,
club,
of
so to
course,
speak.
some exclusive fighters like Horiguchi and Tenshin uh, in the MMA because Tenshin also fighting knockout and rise. So of course they have their own fighters because they start with rising. But if you come like the first event they make, they had people from Jungle Fight, Bellator, Bama, and all stuff like that.
Yeah, I always thought tension should go to one. I thought there's more opportunity for him there in stand-up fighting.
Yes,
Even
yes,
if he did mostly the stand-up fighting, I just thought one would be a better promotion for him.
yes.
But he never went there. I thought that could have been huge for one to
Yeah.
bring someone like tension in there.
Yeah,
But
I think, if Rising could do a partnership with one and bring tension, some competition in the Rising ring, that would be great.
yeah, because they just have so many more. I think good stand-up fighters. In
Yes,
one,
yes.
and
But
it's
also
more of a focus.
in Japan, there's Rise, there's Rising and Rise. It's two different promotion. So
Hmm.
Rise is kickboxing only. And that's where you if you want to find top kickboxers in Japan, that's the show you have to watch. that's the show for kickboxing. See, I think if you compare K1 competition and Rise competition, the top kickboxers are in Rise. That's Tenshin said that he doesn't want to leave Rise. So I think that's why he doesn't go to one. Because one, if he goes to one, he has to fight exclusively for one. But he said that if he fights somewhere, it's okay for him to fight somewhere, but he will not leave Rise by loyalty, because Rise is the promotions that put Tenshin what he is today. So he doesn't want to leave the promotion.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know. I was hoping he would do that, because I thought if one could have done more shows in Japan
Yes.
with Tenshin competing, I thought one had maybe even more potential to do it than Ryzen did. But, because they were talking about doing a bunch of shows in Japan.
Yes, like they were supposed to be a show last October, but with COVID, it got cancelled. And the first show, it was good on TV, but the ticket sales were not so well. But on
What
TV,
about like the fighters in Japan? Were they really wanting to do it?
you mean fighting one?
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. Like if they have the chance to go to one, I think anybody will go. Anybody will go for sure.
So that it didn't discourage them to fight in one rather than staying in some of their other promotions.
No, like if they have the chance, they will go to one. As soon as they see the contract, they will. I don't think they're gonna read it. They're just gonna sign it. So yeah, everybody wants to go to one because one has the reputation in Japan. It's a very rich company. But also there's fighters, that want to stay in the promotions they are in because the promotion gives them the chance, and by loyalty, same as Tenshin, they want to stay with the promotion in Japan.
Yeah, because I think when you and me were, watching Pride and stuff like that, the guys didn't want to leave Pride or,
Yes,
Shuto. They were more focused on competing in Japan.
yes.
But
At the
but
time,
now they want to get into one now.
yes, they want to challenge them overseas. They seek overseas challenge. They want to see, from what I see at the gym every day and the fighters that I train with and stuff like that. Yes, they want to be more like, see how Japan will do right in the game now overseas. Like if you take, the new breed of fighters, that's what they want to see. But all the fighters are like, compete in Japan by loyalty and, make good shows and good sales tickets. It doesn't look for a challenge. They look more for making the people happy.
Well, it's great talking to you again. Is there anything you want to leave the interview with?
Oh, thanks for everybody that joined the interview. And check it out on Amemba One. The show is called Road to One. Toshiomi and Hirotaka are the fighters that I train with, and they're gonna fight on that show in their one debut. Also, if you wanna ask me a question, hit me up on my IG. And also, if you guys are on Clubhouse, you can join me on that too. And I wish you
Yeah,
guys.
Clubhouse is a new thing. So have you been doing like group discussions there, or what have you been doing?
Yeah, like it's basically, for people who doesn't know, it's like a Facebook, but you can only use voice. You can't type anything or post picture like that. It's like basically a giant chat group. So you create a topic, and then anybody from the world can join, and you can talk with them.
Oh, wow.
It's like a big giant podcast. That's
But
crazy.
is it people talking over each other or no?
Yes, but you can decide. But the admin of the room that you create can decide who is talking and who can listen. So you have complete control of the room. So you the guy that give the power to people. Like, okay, you can speak, not you. This guy speak. You like the moderator. You control everything.
So what do you think of it so far since you've been using it?
It's great. I think it's very great because you know you can touch many people and talk about anything. You have topics for anything, not just fight sports, anything, and you can talk with famous people also. You know, you join their room and talk with them, ask questions and stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
Is it free?
Yeah, yeah, it's totally free, but also it's only by invites and only if you have an iPhone. If you don't have an iPhone, then you can join.
I'm gonna have to check it out. I'm gonna have to download it after this.
A fighter invited me to that thing, and now I'm hooked up. I'm hooked up. I like it a lot. I like it a
Yeah,
lot.
I'll have to check it out. I haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
Have you been discussing like fight sports or?
Yeah, yeah, yes. I will do for people interested. I will do a topic about how, with more detail on how is to be a fighter in Japan, train and work in the Japanese MMA field. More like my experience, and then if anybody has a question, can feel free to ask on any platform, Facebook, IG, whatever platform you guys using. And
Yeah,
also,
we'll have to do that then, man, because
yeah,
that'd be interesting. Because I remember some things, and Ryan Boa definitely could.
yeah,
That's who you should talk to. Ryan Boa was,
yes,
super experienced in that.
yes,
He'd be a good guy to add to your
yes,
discussion for sure.
yes.
All
And
right.
also, if you guys check out my sponsor, the Dice Team, diceteam.com, you can see all the athletes at here, have some apparel and stuff, and the project. What is the Dice Team? Because that's the question I get a lot. You know, what is the Dice Team? To make it short, is a company that help people support what they want to do. Like if you have an interesting project and you need support, and they will support you on what you want to do. You know, if it's interesting and it's inspiring and stuff like that, then yeah, they will help you and sponsor you, I think.
Oh, cool. All right, man. So it was great talking to you again.
Same
And,
here.
I'm gonna try to catch you on the new
Yes,
discussions.
for sure. Anytime, hit me up. I'll be available. And yes, I will be posting the camp, the interview of the camp on your. I will send you by DM if you want to post it on your IG for people to watch it
All right, man. I appreciate it.
anytime.
Okay, take care, man.
Take
It's
care.
great
See
talking
you
to you
soon,
again.
guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.